Hi, Jo.
Hiya.
Hi, Jo.
Hello.
Hello, you okay?
I'm alright there.
What is, Ash, can you hear me?
No.
Is that okay?
I can hear you.
You sure? I don't need it.
You know when you were in the, well, you probably only born in the 80s anyway, weren't you?
Oh, yes, darling.
You need to do a lot of research to get back into what the 80s were like. And also, you know the script, you can tell how good the script was, can't you? Tell how good the script was.
Yeah.
So did you need to do much research, or did the script pretty well do it for you? Because when you look at it, it was a heady time, the 80s, wasn't it? So did you need to actually do a lot of research about the 80s again?
Well, I did. I always do research for films, even if my character's in one or two scenes. It doesn't matter to me. I need to know what I'm doing, or need to know what I'm amongst. But it was like, I was born in '72, same year as Shane, I think, or Shane's a year younger than me. So I started going out in sort of 86, 87, clubbing and stuff. Before that, to me, it was all, I wasn't really aware of everything that was going on. I was quite geeky and a bit sort of, I think Shane went out there and had a life quite early on. But I did do a lot of research. I got a couple of the books, a couple of the Skinhead books that Shane had sort of recommended. There's one called Skins. I was a really famous photographer. I can't remember his name. He's been working with Plan B actually on Ill Manners that I've just been in. And Gavin somebody, I can't remember his name. He's amazing. And then there was like a couple of books that I read, and then just asking Shane questions, looking back at footage. But I can remember I was talking to a lady then in the audience, just saying the 80s were actually really interesting. Yeah. There we are. Yes, yeah. So I did do research, but to play that character as well, I did need to know what was going on, because obviously I was an adult that was set in 1982, 83. But it was more just to be aware of what the others were going through, really. And Shane went away and did that montage, got all the footage, and he obviously, before he started, had the idea of how political he wanted it to be. It's based really on he remembers watching a film called The 400 Blows, and he really loved that, and he wanted to make a story of this young boy and he's kind of coming of age, but you have to fill the films with layers, and he set in that time. I think it was a really strong time with the Falklands going on, and the idea with the father and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I did do research, but the script was really strong. I remember sat on my bed at home actually reading it for the first time, and the end was all different. It was all different. There was a lot different. There was there was so much different with my character as well, because there was something that happened with me in Combo, and that changed to Combo and Milky, and it was very dark, and the story completely took a different train of events in the rehearsals. Really, we changed it, but the script was very strong, and it was there wasn't as much stuff about the political, sort of the stuff that was going on at the time in the script, but he was getting at that, from when he kind of started. I think that was on his mind, So.
Over here.
Okay, yeah.
Hiya, Jo. I'd just like to ask, on behalf of the young people at Clapperboard, what's the best advice you could give us in terms of pursuing a career in acting or directing or writing?
Advice. Well, I think for me, but I have to go off my experience, and I've kind of had quite a tough journey, as in, I didn't go to drama school, I didn't get things handed on a plate, it wasn't easy. But for me, knowing inside that I really wanted to make films, I watched movies from a real young age, and I love films and Mean Streets, things like that, and I watched Deer Hunter, and I remember watching a film called Once Upon a Time in America, and I absolutely loved it, and I loved movies. I did a film called Stolen last year, and that's kind of my second sort of great TV thing that I've done. It's a really good story, and it was a great cast. And then I did a couple of films, just done a film with Plan B called Ill Manners that's coming out next year with Riz Ahmed and Natalie Press. and I just played my first lead role in an absolutely mental horror film that's on at Sheffield this Friday called Inbred, and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? It's mental. It's like I get my arms and my legs blown off and all sorts of stuff's going on. It's really sick. But it was amazing for me as an actor to make that choice, because I kind of just really wanted to play something different and have a laugh and go a bit mad, and I'd always wanted to do a horror film. And then I've just done my first comedy role, which is it was a pilot for Channel 4 I did in Bristol with a director called Kieran Hawkes. It's just on his first feature film. And with an actor called Terry Minot and writer Matt Morgan, and Channel 4's just commissioned it, so that's going to be, we've got our own series next year, and it's a comedy. So I've done my drama and a bit of horror, but the comedy's coming up
What's
now.
the Channel 4 series called?
The Channel 4 series called The Mimic, and it will be a 6-part series, comedy drama next year, and we'll be filming that in the spring. But yeah, so it's quite. I'm just trying. I don't think there's anything else.
Well, the thing you missed out was This Is England '88,
Oh,
Christmas, yeah, December the 12th, I think, for 3 days, or 3 evenings. We've got to move on because the cinema's going to be used for another screening shortly. I'd just like to thank Jo for coming this evening and giving us such an interesting background to the making of This Is England. We wish her all the best with the movie she's moving on to. And sad to say that there's kind of ripples in This Is England which make you feel perhaps we're entering into something like similar sort of political waters given the circumstances we're in. That's the kind of sort of feeling I got from the film. I hope not, but it may be a prescient kind of movie in that respect. But all thanks to Clapperboard for selecting such an interesting film and for getting such an interesting speaker this evening. Thank you, Jo.